The most merciful thing in the world, I think, is the inability of the human mind to relate all that it contains. We dwell upon a placid island of ignorance amid black seas of infinity, and it was not meant that we should voyage far. I did not seek forbidden knowledge. It came to me through inheritance. When my granduncle, Professor George Gamble Angel of Brown University, died suddenly after a strange encounter in the street, I became executor of his estate. He had long been known as a scholar of ancient inscriptions, dead languages, and obscure traditions. Witnesses said a rough-faced sailor collided with him near the docks. My uncle staggered, fell, and never rose again. Doctors called it heart failure. I found reason to suspect murder. Among his possessions stood a locked mahogany box. Within it lay bundles of notes, newspaper clippings, letters from scholars across the world, and a small clay idol wrapped in yellowed cloth. The image was hideous beyond any sane school of art. It suggested at once octopus, dragon, and man. A bloated body crouched upon a pedestal carved with unknown symbols, leathery wings folded behind it. Its head was a mass of feelers, and its claws seemed ready to seize the soul of anyone who gazed too long. On the first page of my uncle's manuscript were written the words, "Cthulhu Cult, 1925, Dreams and Dream Work, Relier, Dead but Dreaming." The first account concerned a young artist named Henry Anthony Wilcox. For several nights he had seen cyclopean cities of dripping stone beneath a thunderous sky. In every dream there sounded drums, thin pipes, and a maddening chant. Funglui Muglunaf, Cthulhu, Relier, Uganagal Fatagan. My uncle translated it. In his house at Relier, dead Cthulhu waits dreaming. The second bundle of papers related to Inspector John Raymond Legrasse. He described a raid upon a secret ceremony in the Louisiana swamps. Police beheld a ring of dancers leaping around a monolith of stone. On the altar stood the idol. Those captured spoke of an ancient faith older than mankind. They said the stars once favored mighty beings who descended from the gulfs beyond space. When the stars resumed their proper positions, the prisons of stone would open. Their high priest and herald was great Cthulhu, who slept in the sunken city of Relier beneath the Pacific. The final narrative was the most dreadful of all. It was the journal of Gustav Johansen, second mate of the schooner Emma. Johansen wrote that through a region where the compass faltered, there came an earthquake of the ocean. From the horizon rose a line of black stone where no land had ever been charted. They approached and found not an island, but a city. No architecture of man could resemble it. Titan blocks of greenish masonry leaned in obscene relation to one another. Corners behaved as curves. The geometry of the place was an offense to nature. A party landed. They reached a monumental door. Symbols covered it like scars upon old flesh. As the men stared, the door moved. It opened inward without sound. From the gulf beyond came a fetid wind carrying the odors of tomb water and corruption. Then it emerged. No pen can capture that entity, for it was a blasphemy against form itself. It towered above the masonry, green-black and glistening, with claws spread wide and a pulpy head crowned in writhing feelers. It lumbered and flowed at once. One sailor died where he stood. Another laughed until he fell. Johansen seized the helm and drove the vessel directly at the monster. The prow struck the monstrous head. There was a bursting like slime under pressure, and the shape split apart into a cloud of gelatinous fragments. The men cried out in triumph. Too soon, the fragments writhed, gathered,
and began reforming into the former outline. Johansen turned the ship and fled while sanity remained. Behind them, the nightmare city slowly sank beneath the waves, dragging towers and gateways into the abyss. Rillier had risen only for an hour. When I finished the papers, I understood why my uncle had grown fearful. He had known the cult still lived. Since reading the documents, I too have noticed watchers in the street, muddy footprints beneath my window, a face from the docks that appears whenever I walk, smiling whenever I turn. I shall not continue these inquiries. If I am wise, I will burn these papers. Cthulhu still dreams in drowned Rillier. Dreaming is not dying. The stars wheel onward, and when they stand right at last, mankind shall learn that mercy lies in ignorance.